Welcome to the Last to First podcast. I'm your host, Jason Burns, and I want to start off with an intro to Last to First, the podcast. What's the meaning behind it? What are the goals, the visions? Who am I? Right? Why do I feel like I even have the opportunity to do this? And really what I hope comes out of this. I've been fortunate to grow up in this industry. My parents started our business back in 1984. And so I literally grew up in a household of an entrepreneurial family in the last mile, final mile courier delivery business. Business started in November. I was born in January. Out the womb, I was all in, born into the final mile. Early memories are riding around the Ford Ranger pickup truck, moving the stick shift, the gears for my dad, making deliveries to hospitals when I was probably a 7, 8-year-old boy. I really want to take advantage of the opportunity I have been provided. I'm uniquely positioned to tell this story. I've had the opportunity to be an owner in the final mile business, and I've seen it grow and evolve. And I've been very fortunate to have met so many people along the way, owners, leaders, professionals in this space. This is not a high margin industry. These are people that are grinders. They are the most dedicated, hardworking people. They have a lot of ingenuity. They exhibit perseverance day in and day out. The drivers in the space. For those out there that have things delivered to them, please take time and thank and tip your drivers. They go through a tremendous amount of stress and burden to make sure you or your child or your spouse gets that gift or gets that item they purchased to the house. And so I really want to give them their flowers because they truly are some of the heroes of this country and driving commerce, literally driving it each and every day. Last to First, really a name that has dual meaning to me. We operate in an industry. Some people call it the last mile delivery industry. Some people call it the final mile delivery industry. It's got many names over the years. The history of this industry starts back to the 1800s, at least in the U.S. Pony Express, Wells Fargo had the very first couriers, and they used stagecoach to move gold and other products, financial legal documents from the West Coast back east during the gold rush. It's certainly evolved from those days of probably a 14-day delivery ETA window to now where we have literally drones that can deliver a package within minutes after you click a button on an app on your smartphone. And really in the last 10 years, this industry has evolved. In my opinion, the supply chain has historically looked at the last mile, final mile industry as the stepchild, often and still to this day to a certain extent known as the most inefficient leg. It is hard to aggregate volume. It's not like we're operating big 18-wheeler, 53-foot trucks where you have 26 pallets in the back of a vehicle. We are talking about parcels, typically items under 100 pounds, typically one person deliver them, operating a vehicle that could be as small as a bike or even someone on foot to private passenger vehicles, Sprinter cargo vans, box trucks, and some of us do use larger equipment. The evolution of this industry sparked in the last 10, 15 years as more and more consumers begin to have the opportunity to order things online, clicking a button from their smartphone and expecting the delivery to get to them where they were, whether it be at their residence, whether it be at their office, whether it be on vacation somewhere. Shippers and retailers have had to adapt to the change in consumer behavior. It used to be when I got in this industry, the shipping expectation was typically 4 or 7 days. That's all changed now. You know it like I know it. When you hit that button, actually before you hit the button to order something, you're often looking at what is the ETA of delivery. Nowadays, some retailers, i.e. an Amazon, can get something to you within an hour or 2 hours or certainly that night or the next day. So as these behaviors change with consumers, the retailers, the shippers, the people that are supplying the freight to them, they've had to rethink their supply chains. And a large part of that has been to look at the last mile or the final mile space as now first in the supply chain. No longer if I am Nike that I think about just getting shoes to the local Foot Locker. Now I've got to think about how to get these shoes to Jason's doorstep. The second thing is we provide services, last mile and also first mile. What does that mean? Most people are doing last mile deliveries. Product comes into a city, goes to a distribution center, maybe gets sent to a local warehouse, and then a final mile, last mile company is going to pick it up and make that last leg of delivery to the end consumer. Conversely, it could be the first mile. We could be picking that item up from you, from your residence, from your office building, and bringing it to an airport to go air freight or bring it to the port and to get it on this journey to go back upstream. Last to first is both a play up on words of the industry services and what we offer, but also really more importantly, how this industry has evolved. What I hope to accomplish here is convey the insights of how this has happened and do that through the lens of the leaders, the innovators, the disruptors, the people that have gone above and beyond to propel this industry to where it is today and where it's growing.